and welcome back to the Oklahoma Today podcast. I'm your host, Ben Lucian. I might look like a guy who knows a lot about puppetry, but surprisingly, I know very little. So for that, we called in a special Oklahoma expert. Our editor-in-chief, Nathan Gunner, recently caught up with David Bizzaro, this Tulsa-based puppeteer, has his talents on display in shows like Sesame Street, Waffles Mochi, and many more. He also has started offering some classes where you too can learn the magic of puppetry. We'll catch up with him in just a minute, but first, a friendly reminder to hit that subscribe button if you have not already. If you are a big fan of the Oklahoma City Thunder, we have a lot of Oklahoma City Thunder stuff coming up, so you're going to want to subscribe and stay tuned for that. So now let's go ahead and meet David Bizzaro.
I am really excited today to talk to one of my very favorite Oklahomans on the show, David Bizzaro. Welcome to the podcast.
Aw, shucks. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, you're an amazing human being, and I'm so happy that you're doing this, and I'm happy to be here.
Are you kidding me? This is so exciting. The reason David's on the podcast today, viewers, is that he's got a puppetry class coming up in Tulsa. I got to go to the last one and film some B-roll, and you'll see some of that in the course of this interview, but we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first, I want to talk about the coolest thing, because since I've seen you last, since I took that video, you've gotten to do something that's so cool. We can't go too much into it, but there's a new Muppet show. Potential kind of backdoor pilot special that just filmed, produced by Sabrina Carpenter, and you were just out there Muppeting.
I was there. So the shoot was 2 weeks long. I got to do 4 days, which was an amazing 4 days. And it was kind of a whirlwind, I was the show, they've been trying to get the show made for a very long time, to revive the Muppet Show. It's something the fans have wanted for forever. And it just hadn't quite clicked right, for so long. And like leadership had been changing at Disney, over the years. And so the vision of the Muppet Studios had changed. But now finally, like the leadership at Muppet Studios is incredible. They really understand who and what the Muppets are. And they're working directly with the puppeteers to like executive produce the shows. And with this one, Seth Rogen got interested. And so he's an executive producer on it. And and Sabrina Carpenter is a special guest. And so I got to be there, and it was incredible. The puppetry community, especially the Muppeting community, is very small. And when we get together, it's like a big, happy family reunion. And, the Muppet productions are few and far between, unless you're on Sesame Street, and there's not a lot of us on that. So when these happen, we all, we sit and we visit and we catch up each other on our lives and our kids and all these things. And as much as it was like a dream come true to like see the Muppet set and how humbling that was, it was also just incredible to see my extended family. And it was beautiful because as seeing my extended family, that's also what the Muppet characters are doing as well. They're like getting back together with their extended family. So
it feels like an extended, especially like as people who were brought up in the 80s, it feels like all of our extended family, doesn't it?
It really does
to me. Yeah, I definitely grew up. And for viewers who are just figuring this out based on the interview, David is a puppeteer. He works with the Jim Henson Company. Talk to me about your first experiences with the Jim Henson Company, because I know that you've had the most fascinating career, and I want to go through it, but I really want to talk about the Jim Henson Company and how you came to be a part of this.
Yeah, I'm going to take a quick sip of water because already
go for it. Hydration is important.
It's so important.
Nobody knows that more than puppeteers, I bet.
Oh my gosh, we sweat out so much water. It's ridiculous. So my puppetry career started with a lie that I told Jonathan Fowler. And to those who don't know who Jonathan Fowler is, he's from Oklahoma. Him and his family own the Fowler dealerships here. And I was in between jobs, and I sent him a message and said, "Hey, you need commercials like this." And the video that I sent him was this video of a commercial with puppets in it. And he wrote back, "Oh my God, can you do that?" And I was like, "Yes, of course I can." And I knew nothing about puppets, had always been interested, but didn't really have a reason to explore it. So in like 2 weeks, I learned how to write, perform, direct, and build puppets. And I made the commercials. So you ever saw the Fowler VW commercials where there were like puppets in it? I made those. And that was my very, very first puppet job or experience. And, I have been an animator for years, and when I got to perform the puppets, I was like, this is just like animation,
Hmm.
except everything's happening immediately. I don't have to wait to capture the frames or to render anything. All of the performance is happening immediately, and my
Hmm.
character design is happening in the moment.
Yeah.
So I loved it. So fast forward, my Cassie and I moved to New York together, and I just hit the ground running. I joined the local puppetry guild in New York, and they were founded by Jim Henson and a bunch of other puppeteers.
Oh, that's
So there was
cool.
already that Henson connection. So a lot of people who work on Sesame and other like big shows in New York go to the guild meetings. So I started meeting people, getting connected, and after about a year and a half, 2 years, I was asked to come in and start working as a builder and prop maker at the Jim Henson Company. And it was amazing. It looks the New York shop especially, it looks exactly how you think it would. Like there's giant foam sandwiches hanging from the ceiling, and there's like Snuffleupagus in the corner, and Oscar's over there, and Ernie's just in up on the shelf, like it's a
I think I've had
magical,
that
beautiful
dream,
place.
right?
Yeah,
I think I've
if you've
woken
had
up
the
from that
flu,
dream
you've
before.
had that dream.
Yep.
But it's real and it
That's
exists in New
amazing.
York City.
That is so cool. And you've done, you were on Waffles and Mochi Restaurant on Netflix. You've been on Muppets Mayhem. You were Dr. Teeth's
Uh-huh.
dad, which is very cool.
Yeah.
And this all goes back, something you said in the class that I was at the other day that I thought was really fascinating is that you were talking about how you studied dance and movement and martial arts and how much
Yes.
that's helped you and knowing also viewers, David also did a lot of really cool stuff with the Flaming Lips once upon a
Uh-huh.
time. So let's talk about this sort of career arc that brings you to this place of like, I'm going to go to New York and join the puppetry guild. Like, where does this? Because you started acting at a very young age.
Yeah, I did. I was interested in acting when I was in sixth grade. I was watching Mel Brooks films and was like, this is really
Hero,
cool.
hero,
And
absolute hero.
absolute hero of mine,
Yeah.
yeah. And my, dad was like, well, if you want to be able to do that, here's what you do. And my very first acting gig, I guess, was I played a priest in a Renaissance fair at my middle school. And I couldn't memorize. I didn't know what memorizing lines was, and so my dad was like, "Oh, just like get this book and like put your lines in the book, and that you'll pretend like that's your Bible. Just like hold it in front of you." I was like, "Great." So I'm out. What I didn't think of is like I'm outside, the wind's gonna blow, and so I couldn't keep the pages straight. So I just started improving, and it worked, and people liked it, and then I was invited to join the theater class when I was in sixth grade.
Okay.
So from there, I just like kept exploring it. But to move forward in time, I got really discouraged by acting. I didn't like the auditioning process.
Mm,
And when you're someone like me who is what I've been told ethically, or not ethically, that's not real, uh, ethnically ambiguous,
mm,
it's hard to land roles because
mm,
you show up for like random white guy. They go, no, 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 you're too brown. Okay, great. Show up for brown guy. No, 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 you're too white. And so
mm.
it's hard to find a role. And I felt
Yeah.
really icky with people seeing me and judging how I look, and that being why I got the job. And so I started doing work behind the camera. And when I was 16, I was working as a camera operator and editor for like random documentaries and things. And then uh, from there, uh, I was going to art school, but I still wasn't quite sure what I was going to do. And this was when I was like, I started school late. I was like 24, 23. And we're learning, I was in an animation class, and the only person I knew that knew anything about animation was George Salisbury, who was working for the Flaming Lips at the time. And so someone gave me his phone number, and I called him up and I was like asking him questions. We're talking, and then he says, hey, if you know anybody who wants to be an intern, let me know. And I was like, well, that's me. I'll be an intern. Let me come work for you. And he's like, well, it
Huh.
doesn't pay anything, and you've got to get yourself here. I lived in Norman, Oklahoma, and if people don't know, Norman, Oklahoma is like a 30-minute drive from Oklahoma
Yeah.
City, where the Lips are based. I didn't have a car, I had a bike. So that was a thing I had to figure out.
Oh no.
But I said, let's do it. And I started,
Yeah.
interning there twice a week. My first job was working on Christmas on Mars. I was doing all the subtitles.
Oh
And
wow.
I didn't just do the English ones, I did every other language. And so everything was Google Translate. And so like I'm sure a lot of it wasn't quite right,
Wow. And that's back in
but
like that's a while back now
yeah,
too.
that's
That's like
back
mid
in
2000s sometime, right?
our directions.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, printing our directions from Map Google
Yes.
Maps at that time.
Yeah.
And so that was a while ago. It was like 2010, 2009, something like that. And then as time went on, I got hired on as a full-time employee. I was a visual generalist for them, doing music videos, backing videos for the live shows, documentaries, photographs, toys, you name it. I
Yeah.
touched something within my like 4 or 5 year time when I was there. And and just to touch on like why I jump from a lot of different things artistically is that I'm someone who, if I see something that is interesting, whether it be in art or some sort of knowledge in some way, if I'm interested, I will jump on it and I
Hmm.
will start trying to learn as much of it as I can.
Yeah.
And it was that way with acting when I was a kid. It became that when I was a visual generalist. I just wanted to learn as much as I could because I love expressing myself and I don't like it when there's a barrier between what's in my head and getting it out. And
Yeah.
the only barrier that exists for all of us is like the technique or the know-how.
Hmm.
And as I moved on in my career, I discovered that just about every art form is has some connection in some way.
Hmm.
And that's one of the things I was debating in my class, like you said earlier, with the movement, dance, or like martial arts, is that all three of those, they're even though you might look at them and go, those are totally different disciplines, there is a like a foundation in understanding your body in relation to a space and understanding what your body needs to move, how to take care of your body so it can move. Those are all like the very first principles of all of those.
Hmm.
And I've found that even in like drawing, there's a relationship between understanding drawing and puppetry and puppet building. And just about every art form I've explored had some connection to puppetry. And I didn't know that until
Hmm.
I started learning more about it. And so after the Flaming Lips, I was a freelance motion graphic artist because I just needed money. And when I got to New York, because I was able to work as a motion graphic artist freelance, when I wasn't working, I could go explore puppetry and try to understand what it was without having to like work in a bar or in a coffee shop or
Right.
something.
Right.
So the deeper I got in puppetry, the more I found that everything I've been learning through my whole life is somehow connected or can be used in puppetry. So when I was at the Jim Henson Company, I was the only one besides the shop manager that knew how to do graphic design.
Oh
So
wow.
if they were like, oh, we need to design some props for a grocery store, and we have these few elements that the art department from Sesame has given us. We need to figure out how to make it. It was either me or the shop manager who designed it in Photoshop or Illustrator. And so, that's a skill I learned when I was
Yeah.
a graphic artist and when I was working with the Flaming Lips. And because of my experience with Flaming Lips, I was used to quick turnarounds. Like at the Lips, we'd go like, "Hey, we've got this idea for a music video. We're going to shoot it this afternoon, and it needs to ship tomorrow at 2." And we would do that. And we wouldn't, there was this whole idea of like, don't have it, don't need it, just figure out how to make the thing, create the vision.
Yeah.
And in TV, I didn't know this, but it's very much that at times.
Mm.
So, like one day, for instance, I'm working at the Henson Company, and Jason Weber. James Webb is the telescope.
Right.
I've got that
Right.
mixed in my head.
Yep.
Although James is very tall, so he can sometimes feel like he can reach the heavens.
There you go.
So Jason comes in and he's like, "Hey, we got to order like they forgot, this is they being Sesame Street, the Sesame Workshop forgot they needed a mud castle for slanging, and it has to be on set today, and we have 4 hours to make one. Can you do it?" And I didn't I couldn't exactly like quantifiably say like, yes, I can do it, but I knew that if I tried, something would get done, and that might be good enough. And so
Yeah.
I said, yes, I can do it. So
Isn't it
I took,
amazing how much of creative work is exactly that right there? Like, I
yeah,
don't
it really
exactly know what I'm
is.
doing, but I'm going to try and at least something will happen.
Yeah. Like
We'll go from
my
there.
wife and I were talking about this, and it's like when you say I can't, it's not really that you can't do something. It's just you're having trouble doing it. So
Right.
you just need to figure out, okay, how do I solve this problem? And when I was presented that little mud castle, I took my knowledge of sculpting and my knowledge of painting and puppetry and used those three things to take some foam, carve a little castle, and then take some paint and paint it to look like a mud castle. And then I just dried it as fast as I can. And when it got to set, it had just finished drying. And so I had to like also problem solve, how long does it take paint to dry? How
Right.
quickly can I get it dry? And if it isn't totally dry, how bad will it hurt the puppet? And can we come back from that?
Mm.
Which means telling the puppeteers, hey, when you're around this, maybe don't touch it on this side or that side. But luckily, the whole thing dried. So,
Oh, good.
yeah, all that to say that everything I've been learning has in some way informed my abilities to be not just a puppet builder, but also a puppeteer.
It's cool. It feels so meant to be for you.
It does.
It really
It really
does. I just
does.
think that's so cool, you know? And now you're back in Tulsa
I'm back in Tulsa.
and
I'm
you're still doing all
here.
this stuff. And I think that's one of the coolest things, you know, is about just the world nowadays is you don't have to be in New York or LA. If that's not where, you know, that's not where you're at right now,
Yeah.
then that's not where you're at and it's okay. And you can still, you know, get on a plane, get on the internet, do all the stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the guys that is also that I worked with on the Muppet Show and on Mayhem, he lives in Texas. He lives in San Antonio, Texas, and he's younger than me. And so his career is probably just as has been going on just as long as I have. I started puppetry late, I started being seen in community when I was like 29, 30. And I think he's like 24 maybe.
Oh,
And so
wow.
he's been doing it probably just as long as I have. But he lives far away from either the West Coast or the East Coast.
Yeah,
The one thing you do have to do if you're somewhere central and you aren't known is you do have to get yourself out there and see people and put
sure.
yourself out there.
Yeah,
The benefit of moving to New
definitely.
York or to LA is training because there's more of it, and also connection to people that know
Mm,
people.
yeah.
And once
So
you're
much of it.
established, then you can leave and maintain those, relationships. And like with the Muppet Show, I just reached out to them and said, like, hey, I am available. Let me know if anything comes up. And that's almost like me seeing them at a bar or at an event and being like, hey, if you got anything coming up, let me know.
Yeah.
And but if they didn't know me and I were to
Mhm.
send that email, we go, I don't know this person.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say thanks. We'll keep you in mind.
Right.
So there is
Yeah, totally.
benefit to getting yourself out
Absolutely.
of
Yeah.
the town that you're currently in to be seen by
Sure.
others.
Yeah. It's nice though that you can then go do that and then build your life wherever you want to build it. You know, that's really cool.
Yeah.
You and Cassie are just two of my favorite people. So I'm very happy that you're in Oklahoma because it means I get to see you more often. So let's do a little puppeting lesson right here on Zoom before we finish
Okay,
up.
sure,
Let's
sure.
give people a little bit of a taste of what they might experience. You've got one more class coming up. It's on October 11th. So that's this
Yes.
Saturday. Talk a little bit
Yeah.
about that and then we'll go through a little lesson.
Okay, great. So
Yeah.
it is a very beginner puppetry class. It's friendly for anybody, no matter what your skill level is, or even your what you might think that your physical capabilities are. There are, of course, some limitations to that. You got to be able to lift your hand above your head, of course.
Right.
But
Very helpful.
in New York, there were a lot of classes like this when I was coming up, and I don't know if there's any more right now. There probably is, but this was very common. And
Hmm.
my first experience learning puppetry was going to an 8-week course. And the very first class was very much like what I'm teaching now. You are learning basic lip sync. And what lip sync is, uh, do folks listen to this as well? This isn't just video.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
some people
also
may listen.
audio. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great. So, for those folks who are listening to this in your car and you're stuck in traffic, lip sync is when I speak, I'm lifting my hand up and I'm opening and closing the mouth, which is my hand. So the thumb is opening and closing and matching with my talk. And lip sync is also matching to the. I can put my hand down, or I'll just keep doing that. A character will come out. I can't control it. Uh, and it's also lip syncing to a track. And so sometimes when we perform, we've either ourself recorded a song or a song is provided, and we match
Okay.
the words with our
Yeah.
hand or the
Yeah. Yeah.
puppet. So that's lip sync. So we cover basic lip sync. We
Yeah.
also cover entrances and exits. And that sounds really simple. But with puppetry, usually the easiest thing is incredibly difficult. And so that's just entering the frame with your hand, which has little peepers, I make little peepers, which are ping pong eyeballs that people get to put on their hands. They get to take those home. And they learn to enter the frame, look down at the camera, and then turn and leave. And for your own human body, that's very simple. But to do it with a puppet is actually very, very, very difficult. And
Mm,
so I go through and I explain like how to hold your arm up, how to think of your muscles and where you're placing your body, and how to make sure that you're able to hold your arm up and not hurt yourself or get tired too quickly.
sure. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
really fascinating to me attending the last one, how just what the age range. There were people of all. You had a teenager there with her dad.
Yeah.
You had people in
Oh,
their middle
yeah.
age and like approaching
Hmm.
retirement, and it was just kind of people of all ages really kind of were so excited to learn this stuff, and they were having the best
Yeah.
time.
And from
Like you
all
could
over the
tell they were having
country.
a great time. Yeah.
Yeah, in a few of our classes, we've had folks fly out for the class. Like in our last class, not the one that you attended, but the one before that, there was a young woman who flew out, and she just seen that I was having the class. She's someone who follows me on Instagram, and she said to her mom, "Oh, dang, this isn't a Zoom class; it's in person." And her mom was like, "Well, let's go." And they got on a plane, flew out, was here just for the class, and then flew back home. And so, the availability of
That's
classes
awesome.
like this is really rare, and not just rare in Oklahoma, but across the country, really, because
Yeah.
we as performers like me and other folks who are much better than me, uh, there isn't always an opportunity to take a moment and teach. So when these stuff pop up, like yeah, we've had people driving in from out of town, out of state, and people of all ages, like you said, like there were teachers that came out who they do puppetry for their kids in the class, but they just wanted to like they wanted to elevate it a little bit and
Yeah.
understand puppetry a little better. And seeing that it really warmed my heart. Like it really
Yeah.
made me happy that not only is puppetry performance bridge the gap across a lot of ages, but also just like learning how to do it
Yeah.
also bridges that gap.
That's awesome. You mentioned something when we were talking before that I almost forgot to bring up, and I really wanted to make sure we hit on to. You mentioned that there's a lot of Oklahoma connections with puppetry and Muppetry, and
Yes.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Yeah, there's a couple that I can just think of right off the top of my head, but I'm wondering what you
Great.
like. I'm curious about that. Yeah.
Okay. So Tulsa specifically, there's a puppeteer named Jerry Nelson. And he was one of the original core Muppet performers. He played a bunch of characters like Floyd Pepper in the Electric Mayhem Band, and was also known as the coolest Muppet performer. Like he dressed amazing. He would perform in cowboy boots and cowboy hats. He would play folk songs with really huge pop icons for fun at his home, and he would bring like rock stars to set out on Sesame and in the Muppets just to like
Oh
come
my
hang out and
gosh.
watch. So like this guy was like super cool, and he's originally from Tulsa. And so OK Pop is doing a whole like exhibit
Ah,
dedicated to
sweet.
him. There's also Tyler Bunch, who uh works on Sesame Street. I saw him working on the Muppet Show, so we were there together, which was amazing. And he's also from Tulsa. And then to take it even further, and I don't mean to name drop. This is just like how
No, do it.
my
Name
life played
drop. We
out. But
love
like
this.
Heather Henson was in town because the first Indigenous puppetry conference was in Oklahoma, and she's a huge supporter of not just theatrical puppetry, but also of Indigenous puppetry.
Oh,
So
that's
she came
cool.
out. I had no idea she was going to be there. She was like, "Oh my God, David!" And like, I've known her and just kids for years. And so when she was in town, I was like, "Oh, well, come stay with us," because she was just going to stay in her RV. I was like, "Come stay at my house." And so we were talking just about like her family and what it means to her to be doing puppetry and to help others with puppetry. And come to find out, Jim Henson's dad is from Oklahoma. So
Holy
She's
cow.
remembers going to family reunions in Oklahoma as a kid. So like there's a lot of Oklahoma connection to the Muppets and to
Hmm.
the Henson family. And just
Yeah.
not just that, but just also to puppetry. There was a marionette theater that was in, I forget the name of the mall, but the mall here in Tulsa. And that's
Oh,
something Taylor
wow.
Bunch was telling me. He was like, "Oh, is that marionette theater still there?" And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I had no idea there was puppetry in Tulsa
I think we should bring it
besides
back.
what I'm doing." So there's a history to puppetry in Oklahoma, which is another reason why I felt it important to do the class
Yeah.
because I also had some folks asking, but also there is a uh, puppetry heritage that and culture that is connected not just to us as Americans, but also as Oklahomans.
That's amazing. Isn't that cool? What a cultural heritage we have in this state.
Yeah,
And it's so much of it we're not always aware of. And so I'm so glad for things
I
like that and
know.
things like OK Pop that chronicle these things
Yeah.
for us.
When I
Yeah.
was on the Muppet Show, I would look over at one of my friends and I was like, "Isn't it?" Because everyone's being emotional and looking at the stage, and I was like, "Isn't it wild that this is American culture? Like
Mm,
we are interacting and being a part of American culture. Like our country's so young, and
yeah.
the Muppets is a result of our culture, and that's just so cool to me."
It is. I love it. And I think like I say, I think especially for people, kind of our age, these 80s kids, I think it's
Yeah.
just been such a touchstone for us. They were
Hmm.
always some of our favorite movies, favorite shows, favorite, even like Muppet Babies, cartoons, I mean, it's just been all Sesame Street obviously raised us so much. And so it's just it's such a treasure and what a cool thing to get to be a part of it.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
feel incredibly fortunate and humbled. Lots of impersonator syndrome comes in for sure. But I feel so fortunate and full of joy that I got to be a part of the Muppets.
That's awesome. David Bizzaro, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm not a pro. I tried with the thumb.
Hey,
Thank you so much.
yeah, you just
Because you
gotta
said
focus on that
I
thumb.
remember the thing you remember is don't do because you want to do that, but you don't talk
Right.
like that. Yeah.
Exactly. You remember
Yeah. So
that.
I was
Yeah,
like, oh,
yeah,
the
yeah.
thumb. Okay. So that's hard though.
That's right. Your
Yeah.
thumb is the
Okay.
jaw, and you don't
Okay.
do this. Your thumb is the jaw. You isolate
Yeah.
that thumb
It
to make
takes
it
some legit
move.
muscle control. Viewers are trying it
It
at home. I can feel people on
really
YouTube trying
does.
this at home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
we these muscles on the back of my hand are really overdeveloped from focusing on getting this just right
Okay.
most of
He's
the time.
swollen the forearms. It's a humble brag.
I'm
He's
only
swole.
on one side of my body. This side weak, this side very strong. It's strange.
Awesome. Well, tell people how they can register for the class if they want to come.
Yeah, so you can go to bzroclothing.com and under workshops, you can click on the workshop and you'll be taken straight to a spot where you can purchase a ticket for the class. And you can also go to my Instagram account, which is just David Bizzaro. So David and then Bizz, two Z's, AR, one R-O. So David Bizzaro, or our
Which I should say, because I've
Bizzaro
had people
clothing
ask,
Instagram.
that's your last name.
That is
Like
my real
it's
last
not a
name.
named art.
Nope.
It's your actual last name,
Yes,
Bizarro, and it
it's
fits.
my dad's
We
side
didn't
is
even talk
Italian.
about, and we have
Yeah,
a minute left. We have a couple minutes left. We didn't even talk about your clothing
sure.
line. On top of everything else, viewers, David has learned how to make denim,
Yeah.
among other things, and now has a clothing line on
Uh-huh.
top of everything else. So talk a little bit about that. What inspired that? We didn't
Oh
even
my
get
gosh.
there. What inspired that?
So when the pandemic hit, I lost all my work overnight, and
Yeah.
I was just started making my own stuff. I started making these puppets out of toilet paper rolls, and made a costume for them. And when I posted it, everyone on my account was like, "Oh my God, that's amazing! Make me a jacket." I looked at it and I thought, if I can make clothing for puppets, surely I can make clothing for people. So I got a pattern of a jacket and a pattern of a dress for my wife, and I made the garments and the garments. I don't know why I said that so strangely,
Experiments.
but I made the garments for us so we'd look pretty. And it was so much easier than making a puppet costume. And
Yeah.
so I was like, okay, if I know how to pattern, like flat pattern a puppet, maybe I can flat pattern a garment. So I started teaching myself how to flat pattern garments. And after 4 years of just like making clothes for myself and for friends and a few small commissions here and there, I thought, well, the industry's kind of slowed down. Why not try to sell clothes? So I started doing that. and was learning a lot about denim and heritage workwear and Americana. And uh, I there's a grant here in Tulsa called the Artist Creative Fund. And I was like, what am I going to do? Am I going to do puppets or should I do clothing? I thought, let's do clothing. So I pitched the idea that I hand weave denim on a floor loom made from yarns that I hand dye, which is bonkers because I've never done those things up unto that point.
Oh my
And
gosh,
you notice this is the trend.
this is why I love you. This right here is why I've been so inspired by you. This is so cool.
I always figure like if someone else can do it, I have two hands. Of course, surely I can
Right.
do it too.
Yeah.
And so I got the grant, and within 6 months knew how to hand dye cotton yarns with indigo in my backyard and then weave denim out of those yarns. It took a lot of work, because of the grant, I was able to like not do anything else but that. So it wasn't like I was working a second job and also trying to make this work. I had the
Right.
time and the backing for it.
That's nice.
And so, yeah, the ACF grant is an amazing program. Everybody look it up. But I started doing that, and I really enjoy making a garment. I love patterning. I love sewing. And when I'm making a garment for a person, like sometimes I get like a private commission for something, like for a pair of bespoke jeans or shirt or whatever.
Sure.
And it's fun to try to like match that to the person's body, which
Yeah.
actually come to think of it, with puppetry, when you're building a puppet for somebody to perform, we actually take the performer's measurements and make sure that the puppet fits their hand.
Oh, that's
And
great.
not
Yeah.
only is ergonomical to where the weight of the puppet sits a certain way and that they can easily open and close their mouth. Like these are things that you're taught at the Henson Company. And what I was taught by my mentor, Raleigh Cruson, who's been working with the Muppets since they had their first show. And with those things in mind, when I started learning garment making and how to pattern, I was like, oh, this is kind of stuff I know a little bit. This makes sense to me. So I'm just saying basically like there was a connection that made it easy for me to go from puppetry to making clothing.
It's just amazing to me, these things that you wouldn't think are connected and totally are, and I love it. I love
Yeah,
it. Bizzaro
totally are.
Clothing is the website. Y'all should check it out. It's cool stuff. And you should follow David on Instagram, because like you had that video where you were in LA and you were just like, I needed a jacket, so I needed a sweater, so I made one.
Yeah, it was cold
Yeah.
on set. I forgot that it gets cold,
Yeah.
and I didn't bring a sweater. So I
Yeah.
went to the fashion district in LA, bought some fabric. I bought the like most Muppet looking jersey
It was a
knit,
pretty Muppety sweater. Yeah, that was
right?
cool.
And I was like, what can I do? Patterned a sweater pattern for me, and my friend who I was staying with is also a puppeteer, and she makes clothes, and so she had all the stuff I needed, like a sewing machine and scissors and all that. So yeah, threw together a sweater.
I
So
love
follow me on
that.
Instagram, and you'll get to see me do a lot of random stuff like perform puppets and make clothing.
It's cool stuff. David Bizzaro, thank you so much. Viewers, go to the class on Saturday. It's in Kendall. It's in Kendall Whittier District in Tulsa. It's going to be so fun. I was at the last one. Everybody was having a blast. You need to go. BZRO Clothing is the website. David, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me here, Nathan. This was a
I
lot of
appreciate
fun.
you.
It's always good chatting with you. Let's just make the podcast a regular thing so we can just hang out, right?
I agree. And if you just want to start your own about denim, I'm here for it. I'm just saying.
I've had a few folks mention that, who knows, we do that. Might be the next thing, right?
All right. Take care, buddy. It's good to talk to you.
You too. Good to talk to you too. Bye.
So that was David Bizzaro. He's a fascinating dude. Worked for the Flaming Lips, worked on Sesame Street. And it's actually really funny. We had to reschedule that interview a couple of times because he's
Yeah.
now working on the new Muppet Show.
Yeah, that was cool.
Produced
to see
by
that.
Sabrina Carpenter and all that stuff that you heard about. Yeah, so that's exciting.
It was cool. So we are like just a few degrees away
Yeah.
from the Sabrina Carpenter.
It was fun. I know, right?
Puppetry
So it was
show.
really funny because they emailed and his wife, who I know a little bit too, quite well actually, I'm friends with, emailed and was like, David has to go to LA for some top secret Muppetry. So we have to reschedule.
Yeah.
And I'd never heard the word Muppetry before. So and then he posted on his Facebook later because like they released the thing about the show and he said that's what he was doing. So I'm
Yes.
allowed to say it now, but yeah, it was
that's
really cool.
And Top Secret Muppetry is my band name also. So
Yeah,
it all worked out.
No, but he's one of the coolest Oklahomans around. His wife is one of the coolest Oklahomans around. They're just some of the, I love them so much.
Yes. Well, for people who might be joining us for the first time, this is the Oklahoma Today podcast. And I've already said my name, but here on the couch we have photo editor Megan Rossman. Megan says hello. Editor-in-chief Nathan Gunner, he just did the interview. That was fantastic. And research editor Kirsten Stone. Yes. So puppetry, that's a creative skill, right? Yes. I like creativity, and I like learning skills. And I wish I had more time to learn skills, but I don't all the time. And there's always things that I wish I could do that I can't. There's a lot of things I can't do in life, actually. So that brings us to our question of the week, which is, what creative skill would you like to learn? So editor-in-chief Nathan Gunner, what about you?
All of them, kind of. Like, I'm fascinated by people who can do things creatively of any kind. Like, but honestly, there's one thing, and Chris, you could actually help me. I really want to learn video editing.
No, you don't.
And I'll tell you why. It's because, no, and I don't. And that's the thing, I don't. But I had a really, really terrible professor that I worked for in grad school who made me hate it and not ever want to do it again. And I want to work through that trauma. Okay. Yeah, so I want to learn.
I've been
determined.
playing around with some video editing.
Right? It's a great job skill, and I want to learn how to, and it's easy to do like in an Instagram reel and stuff, like that kind of way. That's easy, but like that's not real video editing. So I want to learn how to do it. So that's mine. Cool. Video editing. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
And then I could, help out around here for a change.
He's trying to take my job.
Exactly. Yeah.
Research editor Kirsten Stone, what about you?
I was actually talking to Chris before this, and we were talking about like sewing and stuff would be really interesting to learn, but at the same time, also, I think I would want something a little less, like, not time-consuming, but time-consuming. I would want to do a musical instrument. I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah.
Do you have an instrument in mind? Like.
I kind of started to learn guitar at one point, and then I put it down and did not pick it back up. So maybe a guitar.
Yes.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Nice.
That'd
I think
be
it'd
cool.
just be fun to be able to like. It's like a
strum
good
us-
party trick too.
And it's like fun to be able to jam and stuff, right? Like when, yeah, that's fun. That's a good one.
Strum us in with.
Totally. I bet Bridget would teach you.
Yeah, I bet you would.
Yeah.
Megan Rossman, the elegant Megan Rossman.
Yes.
Yes.
This elegant Megan today. 3D printing would be nice
Whoa.
to
Oh,
learn.
that's cool.
Okay.
Wow.
That wasn't
She's
on
in the
my bingo
21st
card,
century.
so
Yeah,
that's
no,
cool.
I think that would be, I just see all these things that I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And somebody's like, a 3D printer. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't know how much one of those costs, but it can, I think this dress might have been 3D printed. So like, there's nothing you can't do.
Yeah.
I could start my own Target clothing line. And also printmaking. I'm really interested in printmaking. There is a
2D
course.
printing.
Huh?
2D printing.
Yeah, no, just there's a course that I want to take that's going to be November 8th at Myriad Gardens, which is leather tooling. And then after
I wanna go.
Yeah, after you do that, then you cover it in ink and you make a print with it. And it's $60 and I'm like, I think I'm going to sign up for it cuz I've always been interested in printmaking.
Oh my
so
God,
I'm
can
like,
I come with you? I want to go. That sounds fun.
Yeah, you
okay.
should. You should
Yay.
sign up. Yeah. So
That's an extra podvent. So
and then
We're just all about the value here at Oklahoma
That's
State.
that's an interview.
Yeah, they're all. Yeah, I mean, they're all sorts. I want to paint, I want to sew, but I don't necessarily have the patience to learn to do all of those things. So I will try printmaking though.
Very cool.
What about you, Ben? What are you dying to unleash on the world?
Yeah,
creatively?
well, there's a lot on the list, and I'm sort of with Kirsten. I'm sort of known as a music guy now, and people sort of assume that that's been something that's been a part of my life, my whole life, and that's not true at all. I was not like musically interested remotely until like my 20s.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. Even though I did play cello, and I was forced to play the cello, and I quit it as soon as I could because I never practiced.
I was also an orchestra.
Yes. Did you keep up with it?
I did. I took lessons for years after.
Were you a passionate orchestra player?
No, I wasn't. And I wish that I still knew how to play. I was the violin.
I think I would have stuck with it if I was playing the violin. The cello is just too big.
the cello is
to
an
lug around.
awkward. It's
Especially
it's like
as a little kid.
yeah.
Anyway, the cello's not. I'm not going to learn the cello. But if I could play like the piano or keyboard, that'd be awesome. Or what I really want to do, and I have a friend who's already offered me to teach me, but to DJ, I think would be.
That's cool.
That would be
Yeah.
fun.
You took a class, didn't you, at Oklahoma Contemporary?
Yes.
About making beats, which is really cool.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I don't think they're doing that class anymore, but definitely, I think they do have music-related classes
Yeah.
sometimes. So.
It's cool to me. We're talking about a feature about this soon, but like how many classes you can just take if you look
Oh,
around.
yeah.
You know, I'm curious what Chris is.
Well, first off,
creative
I was a
thing
music
Chris is-
major in college.
You were?
So, yeah.
I didn't
and
know
my
that.
wife
That's
played
cool.
The cello,
Oh, there you go.
and my son's a DJ. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but my creative skills, I want to do woodworking.
Oh
I literally
yes.
thought of that as we were sitting here, and I was going to mention it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a skill. There's a German man that lives around the corner, and every time I drive by his house, he's got new stuff that he builds, and I hate him for it because it's so pretty and gorgeous, and I just think, man, I wish I could do that, you know, and maybe not like simple things, but he makes buildings, but they have all these weird, you know, not weird,
Wow.
just gorgeous
That's
things
cool.
on it. I don't even know what they're called, so.
Does he do it like professionally or just for fun?
No, he's just a guy. Yeah, he has lots of skills, but I mean, yeah, but it's just amazing. And there's so many times I wish, you know, you see the stereotypical grandpa out in the garage, you know, making burger
Yeah.
houses or whatever.
Yeah.
I want to be that guy.
No, when Brian's granddad died, he had like an entire workshop full of stuff, and they sold it off, and we've been kicking ourselves ever since for not just taking it. I know, like at the time you go, we don't have a place for it, and then years later you're like, I should have found a place for it.
Right.
Like, remember that. But yeah, I'm with you. I took like woodworking in like junior high, and it was my favorite class. It's so fun. It's a really fun thing to do.
I was scared of the saws.
Yeah, I was scared of the teacher.
Yeah. I would love to do woodworking. And you know, another creative skill that I used to do all the time and just haven't touched at all in years. I used to just draw all the time.
Same,
Yeah.
yeah, same.
And I just stopped.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would like to get back
You
into
should
that
draw.
at some point. I should draw.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a lot.
It was always fun when it would rain and you couldn't go to recess and you could just get out a piece of paper and just draw.
Yeah.
While other kids were cheating at Monopoly.
I would just use class time for it. But
I bet your teachers loved that.
They pushed us outside.
yeah.
Oh wow. Get wet, we don't care.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah.
It's
Well, it rained
Washington.
all the time.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
it's Washington
yeah,
State.
yeah, I know.
Right.
Yeah, they were like, there's shelter out there.
Well, you can leave your the skills you'd like to learn in the comments. Maybe it's puppetry, maybe it's something else. And do you all know what's coming up next on the show? What part is next?
Are the Rockettes gonna come out
That's the next show.
and do it? Oh, okay.
Is
okay.
it an ad break?
It is an ad break. I
Okay.
was not expecting anyone to remember the ad break. I was expecting to just have one over on you guys. But-
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
You
Anyway.
underestimated my
Yes,
doing this for a
Megan's
minute.
absolutely right. She knows what's going on. It's a mid-show ad break, and we'll be back with Podvents. All right, well, this is the part of the show we call Podvents. This is where we go through the travelok.com event calendar and pick out a few of our favorite gyms. Is there anyone who'd like to go first?
I will.
All right. Like might be strong, but you're volunteering, so.
What?
Oh, I said who would like to go first.
Oh,
You didn't seem
yeah.
that enthusiastic.
Yes. Sorry, I thought I missed something.
No.
So my event is Haunt the Zoo, and this is at the weekend that I am talking about specifically is October 11th and 12th, although this is happening every weekend at the Oklahoma City Zoo in October. And it is kind of concentrated around the children's area at the zoo. They're going to have a treat trail that has 14 stations set up where, so in addition to, like, you buy your ticket to the zoo and for $10, an additional $10, you get a treat bag that you get to collect the treats in, and then $1 of that cost goes towards supporting various causes around the world that the zoo supports. So you're helping animals when you are eating candy, and what a great deal. So, and it also, if you can't eat candy and you buy the treat bag, you can get a ticket and at the end exchange it for a non-food treat of some kind.
Oh, okay.
So,
that's cool that they thought of that.
Yeah. Not everybody wants to fill themselves with sugar, and that is fine. And it is fine if you want to fill
They
yourself
deserve
with
a
sugar.
Halloween too.
Yeah. So, and this is the 42nd year that they're doing Haunt the Zoo. So that's pretty cool. And so they encourage costumes, but you can't wear full face masks or bring weapons or balloons or anything like too scary. So don't just like douse your child in blood and bring him to the zoo or something, because that will frighten people.
As we want to do.
Yep. Don't bring them to my house either. If you're gonna-
No. So really scary costumes. No, thank you. And that is happening from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the zoo. So again, admission and then the $10 treat bag, or $9 if you were a zoo member. And they're also having a special event for zoo members only on actual Halloween. So there's a lot of stuff going on at the zoo, and their website is okczoo.org, if I am remembering that correctly. Yes, I am. okczoo.org.
Yeah, well, Haunt
that'll
the
be
Zoo. I mean, annual favorite. So.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I remember going to Haunt the Zoo myself as a young lad, and it scared me.
Really?
I was easy to scare.
Aw.
There was just normal life scared me. So, well, Nate, what's your event this time?
Well, this is not a hammer dulcimer. Because
Yeah,
I tried
tried.
to find one to bring in to play
Yeah.
for you. And nobody had, the only person who had one, it was broken.
So you do actually play a
I
hammer
learned how to
dulcimer?
play my freshman year, and I remember just enough that I feel like I could have gotten through a little demo here on the show. But alas, I'm sorry, it did not happen.
Before you go into your event, what can you describe what a dulcimer is?
A dulcimer is a stringed instrument, frequently usually played on the lap. So if you've seen a hammer dulcimer, it's kind of trapezoid shaped,
okay.
and it's got strings across here, and you have these extremely light little mallets, and you hold them barely between your thumb and forefinger, just very, very lightly, and you tap on the strings, and it makes this beautiful sound. If you've never heard a hammer dulcimer, after this video ends, not before, after, in the thing up top of YouTube, type in hammer dulcimer and listen, because it's really
thing,
pretty. But
yes.
wait until the show's over.
Yeah.
So this is because the Winter Creek Reunion Dulcimer and Acoustic Music Festival is happening October 9th through 12th in Bennington in southeastern Oklahoma. There are so many classes, jam sessions, and other dulcimer-related activities that the schedule wouldn't even print correctly. There's a lot.
There's a lot
going on. There are free concerts, there are barn dances, there are workshops to help you learn how to play the dulcimer if you're a beginner, learn how to play it better if you've got a little bit of practice under your belt, or just full-on jam sessions if you just want to go nuts and don't need anybody to tell you anything. There are Friday and Saturday jam sessions. There are, of course, vendors and food concessions galore. And if you want to stay for the whole time, from the 9th to the 12th of October, there is RV and tent camping available as well. You can find more information at rrvdc.com. That's the Red River something, Dulcimer something.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't write it down. rrvdc.com. And the phone number is 215-622-6394 if you would like to learn more.
All right.
Red River Valley Dulcimer Club.
Yeah.
That's what it
yeah,
stands for.
Yeah, very good.
Yay! I'm getting old, but I'm not there yet. All right. Yeah. Anyway, it's the Winter Creek Reunion Dulcimer and Acoustic Music Festival. Sounds like a lot of fun. A lot of people going to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they have all sorts of acoustic instruments. I think I know all the instruments, but I only know 12. Then
No,
there's way
there's
more
the
than that.
lap dulcimer that you strum like this, There's the auto harp, which if you know the Carter family, remember the Carter family? Anyway, June Carter used to play the auto harp. So all that will be there and more.
Well, I'm glad we
Many
got
kinds of dulcimers.
Bennington covered.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
As a fellow Ben, I like like to see on the show. Kirsten, what is your pie event?
Well, I am actually going to be talking about P-Bar Farms, corn maze, and pumpkin patch.
Yes, yes.
Which is actually, I have such a soft spot for P-Bar Farms because I have gone there probably since I was in middle school, and I love going. It's always fun. But for those who don't know, it's kind of between Hydro and Weatherford, right off of old Route 66. And there's a corn maze, there's hay rides, there's a petting zoo, there's all these different like children's games or kind of carnival games as well set up in the yard for you to enjoy. There's a little concessions area and gift shop inside of the barn, or one of the barns, so you can hang out, get a snack if you're going to be there all day. But if you're traveling from far away, a lot of people don't realize there's an Airbnb on or at the farm as well, so you can stay the night if you're traveling from far away and still go and have fun all day at P-Bar Farms. And starting on the first Saturday of October, so at the time that this airs, we are one Saturday away, or one day, I don't know how to phrase that. We're just past it.
Yeah.
We're just past it. We're barely past it. But they have P-Bar Farms After Dark, which is if you go after dark, then the corn maze becomes a haunted corn maze.
That's fun.
And it's,
That would, speaking of things that would scare me.
it is very fun. I love the haunted corn maze. It is definitely the place that started my fear of like when I go through haunted houses and haunted corn maze, anything like that. It's the place that started my fear.
So you've gone through the haunted maze?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the place that started me being so terrified of the big guys with chainsaws.
Yeah.
That's where that fear came from.
I did that. I went through the corn maze during the day, and I was like, I don't think I could do this at night. I think I would. It's scary.
It's a lot better if you go through, but you can do this. You can go in the daytime, go through the maze, go get dinner, come back after dark, and then go back through, and you're not as lost.
Right.
You kind of get a bearing.
Yeah, I get it.
You still get jump scares, so you kind of get lost, but it's a little bit better because you know where you are.
Good strategy. Good pro tip.
But anyway, the corn maze and the farm itself will be open. It's already open now, and it'll stay open through October 31st. So you have through Halloween to go out to the farm and have fun.
That place is fun.
And it's a great little time.
Pumpkins?
Yes, there's also the pumpkin patch, which you don't have to go all the way to the patch. They have them up by the barn, so you can get the pumpkins, buy them, take them home, or you can take the hayride out to the pumpkin patch itself, pick your pumpkin there, and then bring it back to the front with you on the ride and purchase it that way.
Perfect. Mm-hmm. That place is a lot of fun. We went there a few years ago.
Yeah,
that was a good time.
That was how I decided that the corn maze at night might be too scary for me.
Yeah. Kirsten, I'm going to say your fear of big guys with chainsaws, I think it's a perfectly healthy fear to have. Yes.
It is, but that's definitely like, it stems from that.
I think anybody there. I mean, there are a lot of people that love a good haunted, like love to be scared, and I think that would be a great thing for them.
Me.
That's nice for them.
I am already frightened of many things in life.
But real quick before we move on to Ben, I should also say if you want to see like hours, ticket prices, or more information, go to their website, which is pbarfarms.com. Yes, pbarfarms.com. They also have like social media, so you can check them out on Facebook or Instagram or anything. But yeah, anywho, over to you, Ben.
Yes.
What do you got?
Right. What I've got is a very pressing and important question. What is everyone's favorite cheese?
Oh,
I have no
sharp
idea.
cheddar.
Yeah, sharp cheddar.
I love a good sharp
That's
cheddar.
good.
Yeah.
Pepper jack.
Yeah, see, I'm a spicy guy, so I like to have a little bit of the spice to my cheese.
I love a really creamy blue with some veins of, or a really creamy brie with some veins of blue cheese in it.
Yeah.
There's a specific brand, but I can't remember what it is.
The answer
Kirsten's-
matches the dress.
Yeah, exactly. Kirsten's shaking her head though, so
I don't like blue cheese.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
I love stinky cheese.
too.
Like,
Feta?
oh yeah, like the
Okay,
more
see, I like
putrid,
feta.
the
Feta's
better.
my favorite.
What about you?
Yes.
What's your
Well,
favorite
they're gonna-
cheese, Ben?
Well, I just said like
Oh,
the
sorry, yeah,
pepper
yeah,
jack. I mean, I don't know if that's my favorite cheese, but I do definitely gravitate towards that a lot. The sharp cheddar too. That's
really
a great
good.
answer.
Oh, I love
Chris,
all cheese.
Really sharp.
What's your
yeah.
favorite cheese, Chris?
Feta.
Feta. Oh,
Feta
that's a
is
good one.
great.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
a really good one. Okay.
Well, you can find all that plus much more at the Watanga Cheese Festival, the legendary Watanga Cheese Festival. I think, I don't have the exact number of years, but I believe over 40 years they've been having the Cheese Festival. Watanga, of course, known for the Watanga Cheese Factory, which is why they have the festival there all the time. In addition to wine and cheese tasting, they're going to have music, an art show, quilt show, fiber show, children's games, and much more. The parade is going down Main Street at noon on Saturday. And we've all talked about how much we like cheese, but do you know who else likes cheese?
Mice.
Yes, mice. Wow. I kept thinking I was going to stump this panel, and they've surprised me every time. Mice love cheese, and their cousins, rats, love cheese also. So you can take part in the Watanga Cheese Festival rat race, which is in either a 1 mile fun run, 5K, or 10K forms.
Oh.
Yes.
I thought maybe they'd be racing rats.
You know, they might have that too. I don't know. You never know with those small town festivals, but it's
I've
going to
been
be
to it, and I can
humans.
verify that they are not in fact racing rats.
I
It's
mean,
just
they have
people
dachshund races.
Yeah,
they
well,
do,
there's
yeah.
turtle races and
Yeah.
stuff. So
You
they
could
wouldn't
dress
do that.
up as a mouse or a rat and run in it.
It's,
I
if
think
you want to
people
run
do.
10 kilometers in a great big mascot costume, power to you.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be people dressed like mice out there, and
Cool.
that's the thing that happens.
Great.
So the Watanga Cheese Festival happening October 10th and 11th, and that is in Watanga, of course. Admission is free, but expect to pay for things while you're out there. If you want to learn more, you can go to facebook.com/Watanga Cheese Festival.
That's a
And-
fun one.
Yes.
I wrote a feature about that, I don't know, a long time ago, and I spent the whole day, and I had the funnest time.
Yeah. One of the biggest events in Northwest Oklahoma, for sure. Now it's time for the star of the show, and I have to give it to Megan because Carly's not here to say anything about it. So
Also, the
Wow.
other event happening on October 11th is Megan's birthday.
that is true.
That is
yes.
true. Yes,
Uh-huh.
it is a thing.
It is
So
a thing
yay.
that's happening. Yes, you were born.
One of our
and
favorite
we're
days.
glad you were.
Yes, we are.
Oh, well, congratulations, Megan, on your
Oh,
win
well,
and
thank
your
you.
birthday.
I share this with all of you.
Yes, in this room.
Yes.
Specifically. Well, that's all we've got for you this week. This has been the show known from here to Anadarko, home of the Peacocks of Randlett Park. Did I say that right? Randlett Park? Yes. As the Oklahoma Today podcast. Head to oklahomatoday.com or pick up our latest issue on newsstands right now. Send your feedback to oktpod@travelok.com. I'll talk to you again next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.